welcome to the third review of the evening. Up this time is Jet Set Knights. Jet Set Knights is an old school arcade action platformer inspired by classics from the Golden Age, such as Mario Brothers, Snow Brothers, or the newest Super Crate Box. If you love retro 2D platformers mixed with tower defense and RPG elements, Jet Set Knight is for you. Okay? I I'm not sure how old school that is, given,
Mostly the art style is old school.
yeah, I'm like, RPG elements and tower defense. Yeah, that ain't old school. Anyway, so we got the Nintendo Switch version of this. So over to Galix for the review.
So yeah, honestly, this game is not bad. It's kind of fun, but it's put together really strangely. Like as you can see, it's a pretty single stage ordeal. There are more stages, but I think there are only like 5 stages, and you have to complete the first stage, which has a boss. You have to complete the boss fight on a stage to unlock the next one, which I never succeeded at, in spite of playing for a few hours. So yeah, I think the controls are a little bit wiggy, and each character, there are 4 knights you can play as plus one unlockable, and they allegedly have individual abilities. But if there is, then the brief second when you initially boot up the game for the first time that tells you what the controls are didn't do that, didn't list that. So I'm not sure if that's even true.
Uh,
Um, the biggest issue I have with this is that it's really kind of random. Like technically, it's a tower defense thing. If you look at the screen here, you can see that there are 6 places where you can place, no, 8 places where you can place turret crystal balls, and 2 places that you can place wooden barricades right next to the princess. The problem is that dropping of the materials you use to build towers is random, and you're entirely likely for it to not happen for the first 4 waves, possibly for the entire stage.
Yeah, that's not okay.
Um, when they do appear, they're in the bottom, lower left, and right corners where the candelabras are. There are also bonus letters. Literally, the word letters bonus can show up, and if you get all of them, it goes into a break the 5 training dummies or 6 training dummies or whatever mini game that completely pauses the action otherwise. You can pick up the lance, which kills things real fast, but it lasts question mark amount of time and goes away when question mark. It does break after a while, but I don't know if that's because you've used it a certain amount of times or just what. There are quests, which you only know what they are if you press down while standing near the princess, and it can be anything from open 5 treasure chests to jump on enemies 30 times, which kills them, or to jumping on them kills them, I mean, like Mario. Or it can be just survive 5 waves, which is how you beat the stage. So sure, that fucking counts as a quest, I guess. And when you do that, you gain a token, which is usable for certain meta things. You can spend a number of them to be stronger for one round, or you can use them to unlock artifacts that allegedly buff you somehow. Also, as you kill monsters, you get experience, which when you go up in a level, you can... Oh yeah, it looks great. Uh, it's just the game design is kind of garbled. That book on the right side there is the equivalent of a bomb in a shoot 'em up game. It basically kills all the enemies on the screen. There are winged boots that make you a little bit faster, which is also one of the things you can upgrade with your experience, along with number of life points, attack power, and critical hit rate. Um, like I said, I did not come up with a combination that let me actually win. So I don't know what the best thing to go for is. There are also invisible Mario question mark blocks for I don't know why.
That's probably the Mario Brothers influence.
Well, the whole thing is kind of Mario Brothers-ish. The screen setup. You always have a sword, and there are treasure chests around the stage, and when you open a treasure chest, you usually get arrows. They go under, at the very top left of the screen, there's a weapon thing that has a meter at the top of it that shows you how close you are to running out of arrows, and I didn't notice that for quite a long time because I'm not usually busy looking at that part of the screen when I'm trying not to die, because you only have 3 hits. But you start out being able to get regular arrows, and as you play the game more, I think, you unlock... I think it's related to like how many treasure chests or coins you get or something. You unlock the ability to randomly get fire or ice arrows instead, and there are more things than those 2, I believe, but those are the only 2 I got. The ice arrows will make a monster stand still for a while, and also it makes them instant kill the fire skulls. And the fire arrows, I think, do damage over time and a little more damage. I don't know if those are necessarily which one of those is better, but it doesn't matter that much because you don't actually have control over what you get. And if you pick up fire arrows when you still have some ice arrows left, it just resets you with full fire arrows. Or if you still have some ice arrows left and you get regular arrows, it switches it to regular arrows. There's also a random power-up that can appear in the designated power-up spots that turns the princess into a laser bullet shooting cat monster for a while, which is nice if you can get it. But yeah, I've gotten to the final boss of the first stage a few times. It's like a cyclops octopus that has 2 tentacles and then a head in the middle. And it attacks by shooting sets of 3 bullets at you and just moving back and forth. Unfortunately, I've never been able to kill it because if I had turrets on the lowest level where they can hit it, then they got destroyed too fast, and otherwise I ran out of arrows and couldn't get around, and I usually only have like 1 or 2 hit points left by that point anyway. But yeah, honestly, the confused game design and randomness is probably my biggest issue, and my second biggest issue is just that the controls are a little bit off. Like your side-to-side movement is, I don't want to say slippery, but like loose, and your jumps are a little bit tight or stiff. Like you can jump really high, but not very far. And also, notably because of how high you can jump, practically all of the floors, at least in this graveyard stage, are not jump throughable from the bottom, which means you'll be bonking your head a lot. So, yeah. This game does have a multiplayer mode, and from what I hear, it's better played in multiplayer mode, but the Switch version does not have online multiplayer that I could figure out how to work. And I didn't have a chance to play with my friend this week, so it does look like there's either a survival, 2-player survival, which I think it's the same as 1-player mode, or there's a 2 to 4 player battle mode, which presumably is different. But I was not able to actually get in either of those, so I can't verify that for sure. So yeah, I sort of like the general idea here of protect the princess from the oncoming monsters, but some of the stuff needs to be less random, I think. There is also a dash, which I believe would be the right face button, or are you playing with keyboard? If you're playing with keyboard, I have no fucking clue what it is.
I'm playing with controller.
Yeah, so right face button is a dash. It has a cooldown. I don't know where the cooldown is written. But yeah, you can see even from the top of the screen, this game is really designed for 2 players, and I feel like having the extra hit points of that and the extra, what's the word? The extra kill power would be helpful, because there's just too much that is unpredictable, and the game does not give you enough tools to accommodate that, I feel like, generally. Overall, it's still actually kind of fun, even with the not perfect controls. But it would be a lot better if it were a little bit more focused in its design, or if the random tables were refined, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Yeah, like I said, allegedly, according to the documentation, the characters have different abilities, but I couldn't find any information on what those were or how to do them, so I can't include anything on that. And yeah, this is a pretty simple game. Outside of that, outside of the actual battle, there's a shrine you can go to be strong, to pay a number of the big coins you get to be stronger for 1 round. There's a treasure chest on the world map, on the Switch version at least, that gives you 3 coins per. Oh, over on the right there, that bat-looking thing is the thing that turns the princess into a monster. Oh, there's also the one that turns you into like a cat head thing, which is pretty strong, because in that mode, if you eat an enemy by walking into it from the side, you gain a health heart back, which is good, because otherwise there's only healing potions that spawn as randomly as anything else. And that also makes you temporarily able to just walk into enemies and kill them, which is nice. So yeah, there is a little bit of meta progression, but the game doesn't really like tell you how it works exactly, so I don't know, because even though I played for quite a while, I didn't actually like fucking get good, so. So yeah, not really a whole lot else to it. The music is pretty decent. It's about the kind of thing you'd expect for the art style.
Oh,
Little
looks
bit
like
chiptune.
PC is offline only for multiplayer.
Huh. I read somewhere that one of the versions of this had online multiplayer.
Unless it's using the Steam Remote Play thing.
Maybe. Yes, it looks like it's unlocking. It's getting chests unlocks the next weapon, but you need a lot after like the first one. So yeah, as you can see, there are locked stages that you have to beat previous stages to get. If you go to the daily bonus, it'll give you some of the tokens over there that you see you have 4 of. And on this screen, it's up and down to change your knight. And yeah, there are achievements and there are artifacts that I don't know exactly what do. You go to the there's a what's the name? A slot machine thing that gives you a chance to win those, but it's not a very good chance, because I did it a few times and never got anything. And yeah, that's about all I got.
As I get a new artifact.
There's not a whole lot to it. Well, I only played it like twice because I didn't have many coins, because I used 10 of them to do the get stronger thing, I think.
Oh man, double jump.
That's about all I got. I don't think this is well, what's the damage cost wise?
It will cost you $10.
I would say I would say on sale. Probably.
Also worth noting on Steam that it is part of the FobT Indie Bundle, which is 8 games for $32.17. As per our policy, we do not comment specifically on bundles that have games we have not reviewed. So purchase at your own risk there.
Uh-huh. Yeah, overall, I don't think it's bad. It's just... Oh, yeah, and you can unlock mini games to earn more tokens, but you don't get that on the first stage, apparently, so... So yeah, that's about all. I don't think it's bad. I think it's more of a $5 to $7 than a $10 game.
Right.
But I enjoyed it a little. Just it's a little bit hard to get into. The controls aren't perfect, and I really wish they didn't put as much to the RNG.
Duly noted.
Do you guys have any questions?
All of mine have been answered.
Mine have been too.
Okay.
I'm good.
All right. So that'll about do it for Jet Set Nights. Be sure to tune in after the break as Twilight will be taking on Rodent Warriors.